So many appraiser business owners miss the mark. They miss the mark because they're waiting for everything to be done before they move forward. Folks, if you wait for that perfection, it's never going to come.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach podcast, helping appraisers increase their efficiency, quality, and make more money. Here's the guy who makes it his life's mission to create value for real estate appraisers nationwide. Your host and the Appraiser Coach, Dustin Harris.
Perfection is the enemy of done. You've heard me say it many times before. It's one of the things that comes up frequently in our mastermind meetings. We'll be sitting around a conference table. There'll be 8 to 10 other appraisers in there, and someone will get stuck. They will have a goal, a KPI that they have had for months and months and months and can't seem to reach it. But when you really dig in, you find out that they've actually reached 80% of that goal. And it's that 20% that holds them up from moving forward. And so you'll hear someone around that table, myself or someone else, say, don't forget, perfection is the enemy of done, right? Paralysis of analysis. Let's move forward. Well, recently, and my apologies, by the way, I'm not trying to steal anybody's thunder. I honestly cannot remember where I heard this from. I don't remember if it was one of my mastermind meetings or if this was something I heard on one of my podcasts. I'm constantly ingesting information. It's usually not music. I love music. Sure, I love a good Netflix show, but you will find me about 2 to 3 hours a day, actually lately on YouTube. That's where I've been spending a lot of time because it's, I can go right to the topics that I really want to learn about. Lately I'll just tell you, it's been Bitcoin and AI. In fact, if you open up my YouTube premium account, immediately I'm going to see Bitcoin, AI, Bitcoin, AI. I mean, this is what the algorithm is feeding me. Why? Because this is what I do. This is what I'm interested in. And so I don't know where this came from, but I want to share with you an analogy. It seems like it came from an appraiser. So again, apologies if you're listening to this and go, that was mine. Comment below. I would love to give you credit. I thought this was a great analogy. And the analogy is this, folks. Let's say that you are going to build a car company. Okay. Imagine this. You're going to build a car company. How do you start? How do you grow? Now, you would think your brain says, well, start with the wheels, right? That's the thing that touches the ground. Let's start with the wheels, and then let's build the frame, and then let's build the electronics, and then let's build the mechanics, and then and on and on and on, and you end with the roof, right? That's the thing on top. I guess that makes sense, kind of, but not really, right? When you think about this, that's not how you build a car company. That's not how you build a car. You don't start with the wheels. You might start rather with a prototype. So, for example, if you're going to build a car company, you might start as a bicycle company. You might start with something less than a car, something that works, though. Do you see where I'm getting here? Right? You get this prototype that actually moves people down the road, and it's very simplistic compared to where you're going, but at least you start with something that works. Wheels on their own don't work. You start with the bicycle, you move to the motorcycle, and then you upgrade to the car, and then the car gets better and better and better every year. Folks, do you think that the car companies, speaking of car company analogies, do you think that they really wait until they have the perfect model every year before they put it out? Of course not. Right? They say that's what recalls are for, right? I mean, not really. You never want recalls in something as safety conscious as the automobile industry, but let's face it, it happens, right? Perfection is the enemy of done. By the way, if you want to have less imperfections in your report, I highly encourage that you check out one of our sponsors today, which is True Home Tracker. What is True Home Tracker, folks? It's the ability to be able to be consistent. One of the things that I teach as an appraiser coach is this idea of systems, right? That you have SOPs, that you have performance that you do over and over and over again. And how do you do it right? What about a system, a software system that allows you to be able to do that? That's what I talk about when I say it's more than just an order management software. It is a business management software. Find out more on my website, TheAppraiserCoach.com. Go to products. Scroll to the bottom. It's the very last thing. I don't care if you're on your phone or on the internet or on your regular PC. Scroll to the bottom, click on True Home Tracker, and tell me it's not the best thing that you've seen since sliced bread. Thinking of the best things out there, folks, and the ability to support your adjustments. How would it be if you had a one-stop shop for all the data, all the support, all the market analysis that you need? Folks, you do. And it's found in the company True Footage, and it's called TrueTracks. TrueTracks is your ability to be able to support those adjustments so that you don't get questions. And when you do get questions, you simply print the data from your work file and send it back to them, and then there's no more questions. That's one of the things, the many things that TrueTracks will do for you. And by the way, folks, they are giving you a 2-week free trial. Why? Because they believe you're going to be addicted after 2 weeks. But if you're not, use this coupon code and get an additional 4 weeks for a total of 6 weeks. That's TrueTracks. And the coupon code is AppraiserCoach. That's AppraiserCoach, capital A, capital C, one word, no space, AppraiserCoach for 6 weeks free. Finally, we're sponsored today by OREP Insurance. OREP, of course, is my insurance of choice. And you do have a choice. I say that often, folks, but we do have a choice. You know, my automobile insurance, I just changed all of it. My home insurance, I just changed all of it. My rates were going through the roof for no reason. Nothing had changed. I never had a claim. And my rates on my home and my car insurance were going through the roof, folks. And it just reminded me that you have a choice. I switched and actually dropped my rates significantly. My coverage went up. Folks, you'll never have to do that with OREP because they are a broker and they're going to shop it for you. Check them out by going to their website at orep.org. That's OREP.org. Welcome back to the program. Dustin Harris hanging out in the podcast chair. We're talking about perfection. Folks, let me just lay it out straight. So many individuals and business owners specifically, and let's even get more specific, appraiser business owners, miss the mark. They miss the mark because they're waiting for everything to be done before they move forward. Folks, if you wait for that perfection, I'm sorry, it's never going to come. The bottom line is, folks, good enough sometimes is good enough. Now, I know that some of you are screaming at your microphone and saying, or at your headphones rather, and saying, Dustin, you can't turn in an imperfect appraisal report. And I would say to you, show me a perfect appraisal report. Show me a report that doesn't have at least a few mistakes. Now, I will say this, right? The principle, the 80-20 rule, right? This thing is the Pareto principle is what they call it, right? Because he's the one that kind of pointed it out. 80-20 can apply to so many things. Now, I have a principle I call the 82% rule. Yeah, it's a bit of a ripoff on Pareto. Sorry, Pareto. 82% rule. It helps me to remember, right? 82% of the time, or 82% right, is right enough. That means you've got 18% flexibility. Well, Dustin, if I turn in something that's 18% mistakes, then I'm going to have it. No, that's not what I said. If for every 100 reports, if 18 of them are not right up to the tip top of perfection, right, then you're doing okay, folks. You're doing okay. 82% of the time is good enough. And I promise you, folks, if you don't listen to me, right, you're going to find yourself stuck. I find it all the time in the clients, the students that I teach as a coach, right? They want to move forward, but they don't think they can because, right, they're trying to build the car from the bottom up. Get something that works. Think about it this way, right? Let's say it's a procedure in your appraisal business, right? If you wait until you have that procedure down pat, like it is perfect, you will never move forward. It's time, folks, to step back and say, and ask yourself this question: what is it that I'm doing right now that is holding me back, my mindset holding me back from moving forward? What is it that I'm saying, I'm not quite there yet? I need to still do this, this, and this before I can move forward. I promise, folks, you can find those things. And I promise, folks, it will change your life if you're willing to step back and say, you know what? Good enough is good enough. Thank you for joining me today, folks. As always, go create some value.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit TheAppraiserCoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.